don't scrap it. See Marley for a beat and then rap it. I'm blessed by Buddha, I'm not new to. And saying rhymes is what I do to pass some of my free time away. Ask me why, and I'ma say my nickname's MC Brutus, cause I'm quick to pick up the mic and say, yo, let's do this.
So I get to steal this line off Brown Sugar. And for the record, y'all, this is the legendary, and I mean the legendary MC Shan. So y'all got to give a big ups to him, because without him, hip hop would not have taken formation the way that it did to get us to our now. So big ups to him. Now, and like I said, I get to steal this bomb line from Brown Sugar. When did you fall in love with hip hop?
Well, it was just a natural progression. It was the music of our time, and it just was what we were doing back then. It was just a love for it from the beginning, because I didn't want to listen to Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes like my mother and Al Green.
Yeah, that was a little old fashioned for you, even for you back then, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I read where you said that you got the opportunity while touring with Roxanne.
Yes, that was my beginning intro into the music business. Me touring with her, because she made that Roxanne's Revenge, which was one of the biggest records in the country. And I just so happened to be her protege.
That's awesome, though. Like, you never hear stories about...
Why I gotta have a video and y'all don't got none?
We ain't got none. MC Shan, don't do that. Don't do that now. Don't be beefing. Don't be beefing with me.
Why I gotta have a video and y'all ain't got no video?
Look, you know the battle rap. We ain't get ready to do this tonight now. Not tonight now. Listen, you got the juice, boo. You got the juice.
Nah, you right. I sure do. It's right there.
So you were, and speaking of battle rap, you were king of battle rapping. What do you think about disses and battle raps now?
Well, it's taking on a whole different meaning. You can't even see, at one point when we were younger, that just classified along with ranking. You would get ranked out. You knew who not to mess with when it came to ranking. So rapping just went to ranking on beats. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, if you couldn't, at one point in this game, if you couldn't rap, you knew it and you were told you couldn't rap, and you're going to sit down, because you're going to come across somebody that's going to give you a heck of a run for your money. And you're going to know that, oh, this career wasn't built for me. Unlike now, everybody just thinks that they can pick up a mic and do one-liners. Y'all sound like comedians with your one-liners.
So what do you miss about hip-hop?
Not a daggone thing.
What? MC Shan, come on, man. Really?
I'm telling you. I done seen the game evolve to different things, and what has changed and what it's been through.
What is something that you wish you could have done differently during your music, the earlier stages of your music career?
I wouldn't change a daggone thing. I would go back and whisper to my younger self and say, yo, do everything you doing. You the bomb. I wouldn't tell them anything different. I wouldn't change a thing about anything that happened. You know, you change one thing, a paradox happens.
Right. That's right. Now, in your opinion, why do you think The Bridge was so successful?
It was the first record that came out representing a neighborhood, not a borough. And it was different. The sounds that we used in it and the way that it was constructed made it something different. The sound that came when you heard that, you never heard that before.
Right.
And so that right there, on top of it being a record in Queensbridge for 2 years before anybody else ever heard it, we thought that nobody wanted to hear about it, and well, how wrong we was. Once that cassette got out of Queensbridge, it was over and done from there.
Man, it was bomb. Like, when you say that about the different instruments and just the different sound y'all had, So Def was a banger. Like, I was listening to that today, and I'm like, this is... Yes. So, that thing go hard, even to this
day. That's taking it back to the original. I'm about to take when they used to sit back and write a fucking rhyme. And
Yes.
MCs had them radio voices back then before me. You know, hey, well, I'm TJ Sword. I got you to know. Gonna rock you off in your stereo.
Oh Lord, those were the good old days. What was the inspiration behind that track?
Well, just sitting in River Park. Come on, y'all. Get down. You never know. So I might have kicked over a tree bark that day or something and just bring an idea. You never know what
Wow.
sparked that idea.
Right. So you
Creativity comes from everywhere and anywhere and anything. Everything I listen to, look at, and see, I soak in, and it just becomes the creativity sometimes.
right. So it didn't even have anything to do with beef. It was just so much you've seen something out there, nature, anything made
Right.
you
I'll be reading a magazine and see one word and a whole collage of things will pop into my head. That's how I
wow.
used to write my rhymes. I used to open up a magazine and just flop it open and point, find a word. Ah, that kicks something in, and then you know what I mean? I wasn't just the type of MC that said fake, bake, take, cake, rake, break, flat, bat, smat. No, I didn't do things like this. I said, highly acclaimed as Shan, the epitome. Your rhymes can't dance, so you can't get rid of me. Line after line, I got cause and effect, but I first tested the mic with a 1-2 check. And that's when rappers were still rapping like, simplistic words. I
Right.
wanted to be different. I wanted to come with something different and set my own trend.
It's interesting you said that because when hip hop started, it was definitely simplistic. And your verses were very different than that, which the way that you write is more of a creative writer, a prolific writer per se, building from one word. So was that something you went to school for?
No, I actually was in the ninth grade for 3 years.
Whoa.
But that doesn't mean I'm dumb. It just means
Right.
that I wasn't scholastically inclined.
Or you were
Uh,
bored.
right. If you look at me now, you see I build buses from scratch.
Wow.
So if you used to watch my Instagram, you see I done cut a bus out, took the seats out, put the electronics in, put the system in, designed it, all of that. And so I took everything that I learned from the fifth grade and applied it to my life right now, and I came up with a great project.
Wow. So is it like a tiny house, the how they had the
No,
tiny
that's what I'm gonna build next. I'm gonna build a tiny
tiny
house
house?
next.
Okay.
No, it's an actual party bus. I built a party bus, and
And
so the next one I already been commissioned. Somebody wants me to put a flip up bed inside of a bus. So I
mhm.
guess I did something good. Just somebody wants to pay me to do it. Hey, because the first one I didn't get paid for because it was mine.
You got paid because somebody watched. It was value in what you did, so you got paid. You
Oh
got
yeah, they
business.
want to rent it now, but I ain't got no telephone number for my business, and I'm not giving y'all my private cell phone, so you can forget
We
that.
just we just gonna hit you up on Instagram, MC Shan.
No, I don't check that either like that. I do what I do on there and I get on with my life. I'm not one of those that are stuck to my Instagram page all day. Ugh, no,
So
I do things IRL in real life.
in real life, I know that's doggone right. Listen, I have two more songs I want to ask you about, and
Okay.
I pioneered this. How many times has that song been sampled or added to a movie feature?
I'm not even sure because when it comes down to do the business work, the writers and all that, the writers is mine, but all of the business to be paid, money goes somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And so I see the writers off of that, but that's the importance of these young men and women out here in this business now,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the business side of what they're getting into, because that's the major part of the money. You are going to be a less of a better term, the prostitute in the situation. You're going to be out there working, and everyone else behind you is going to take the money, beginning with your pimp record company.
Right.
And
Okay.
your pimp record company is gonna have your manager as your road manager and pimp. and they're gonna take a piece of your money on top of the money that the other ones is taking, you know. And like I said, that's a lack of a worse term to put it in. But if I put it that way, everybody can understand how it works. So everybody else is getting the money while you're being used and abused.
Like a pyramid scheme.
No, it's way worse than a pyramid scheme.
Wow.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a you're out there, you work in the corner.
Right.
Ain't no scheme. You work in the corner, shawty. Come bring that money back.
Wow.
As simple as that.
Dang. So, time for us to defend ourselves. That is something you spoke into existence, which it was really bad back then, but with George Floyd, it just it was timely or timeless. So,
No, that was a true record. The
right.
police killed my friend Richard Luke. That
Wow.
song was about a person that actually was living until the police made him not live anymore.
Mm,
And if you look at the year that that record came out,
mm-hmm.
and then you look at, like you just mentioned, George Floyd, that means that this has been going on for the past 20 years, and all the marching and all the singing we've been doing ain't working.
Right.
We need to try something new.
Right.
I'm not advocating violence. Time for us to do whatever's necessary to defend ourselves.
Somebody
You
said,
like
don't,
that, right?
don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. So now you mentioned something earlier in the interview that people wrote raps back then. So what made a good song pop back then?
You don't never know what a good song is. You never know. You just make it and put it out to the people. They're gonna feel you or they're not gonna feel you. There's nothing you can go in the studio and say, I'm gonna write a hit today. Because if you can actually do that, you would make every record that you make a hit.
Right.
So hits are not something that are made. Hits are something that are cultivated by the folks.
Right.
You put it out there, and they tell you whether it's a hit or not. And like I say, a lot of these young cats have lost the art of asking the DJ. You'll give the DJ one song and tell the DJ, "This is the bomb. You should be playing it." No, that's not what you do. You take three or four of your songs that you think are the bomb, and you hand it to the DJ and tell him to tell you what's gonna pop. Because the DJ has a pulse on the people. He's the one out there keeping them dancing on the dance floor. And so he has a pulse on the people of what's going to pop and what's not going to make them move at the point. So
Right.
if you really want to have any kind of success in your career, stop using your own judgment and pass your records off to a DJ, a couple of DJs, get with some of these coalitions that have the DJ pools, and give your songs to the DJs and stop charging them for drops. And maybe your career may phew, to the left.
Big facts. You know, the young kids don't understand that the DJ is the one that controls how your spins, how it gets to the radio station. So,
Ain't nobody worried about the radio stations nowadays. You want these DJs to be playing it on their Instagram. Radio don't
right.
pay. You can get paid for Instagram streams as long, you know what I'm saying? Radio don't pay. Nobody care about the radio. Radio sucks.
Somebody said, I know you
Look, if the radio meant anything right now, we wouldn't be doing this on Zoom. We'd be on somebody's radio station doing it right now, right or wrong.
right. Right. People, online is where it's at right now, which is a blessing.
Exactly. And if they ain't streaming your joint, and everybody can stream it on their own devices, you don't have anyone between you and the stream. So it's a whole different world out here. And if you don't become attached to it and learn how it operates, you're just going to be a dinosaur in this game. Not that I'm trying to sell records or anything like that, but this is my new niche, talking crap.
So, it's speaking of your new niche, talking crap. What else have you been up to?
Building a bus, and that was it. Now I'm gonna put the bus in what you call it. I'm working on a few shows where I'm gonna get sponsors, and I'm gonna build buses and give them to people that deserve them.
Wow, I love that.
It's like, yeah, let's say you see somebody that's been struggling trying to make a barber shop or a hair salon or a food truck, and they just can't get it to pop.
Right.
Well, Shan got a bus somewhere. that he can build, and I want to get sponsors to sponsor it so that we're doing something for somebody in the community to get them on their feet and get them moving. We're not going to pay their insurance and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're going to have to take care of all of that, but we do provide you with the obstacle to get to your next level in your business. And that's the idea that I have. I want to help other people get, to where they want to get to, and those that are deserving. I just don't want to give something to somebody that doesn't deserve it.
Right. Right. So, and then with that, do you still have your record label?
I don't have no record label. I don't even deal with hip hop. I don't deal with music anymore at all. I leave music to those that want to do it. There's no money in it for me. There is no money. Right now it's COVID, right?
That's right.
And the old school weren't out here getting money off of their old songs. They were getting money off of doing shows.
Mm-hmm.
There is no more shows right now. So if you didn't prepare yourself to do something else or have a stack of money somewhere right now, you're really looking to go do something crazy. You
Facts.
know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so, with that being said, you take the money that you make in this hip hop game and do something else with it. Don't depend on this hip hop to make you rich, because you can look at every one of our old schools. You can look at Barbra Streisand, you can look at Bruce Springsteen, and many others, and you can see them living on sprawling ranches with horses and hay and feeding their animals. We're hip hoppers. We are barely feeding our kids at 60 and 70 years old. We still out here doing shows.
Right.
None of us have achieved that ultimate goal in hip hop, and neither will you. Y'all money looks a little different, but that's like us being in the 1820s and having $100, and that same $100 being equated in 1920. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same. You know what I'm saying? So the money that y'all look like y'all are getting now just fits along with the economy and how the world works.
Right.
Because you want to buy a Lamborghini that's 300,000. So hey, this is how it works.
Well, you are absolutely right. The value for certain things has changed now that COVID has exposed a lot. So, and with that being said, how have you experienced it? How have you pivoted during the pandemic?
I didn't see it.
That's
I
a
was out the whole time. I don't know what. No, I'm like what. I was out the whole time. I promise you. Summertime, I was taking the RV, and me and my kids were going to the mountains. We were doing things. I was driving to states that were closed down. Oh, ain't nobody on the street. Let's jump in the RV and just go there. I
right.
wanted to see Nashville. You know what I'm saying? I went to go see the buildings and went to see the Music Hall of Fame in the middle of the night in my RV. And if the police was to say you're quarantined, me and my family are in our house, thank you, and we wouldn't be exposed to anything if you wasn't at my window, thank you. you know. But I didn't feel any of the COVID. Summertime, we were at the beaches, and the good thing about that was that we're separated because the next person parks over there. Yes, you say hi to your neighbors and whatnot,
Right.
but I was still out in COVID. I didn't even feel it. And I'm happy that my career made it fortunate enough that I had those certain kind of things that me and my family still was able to move about.
Right.
It's not like I'm rich with Lamborghinis. I just took my money that I did have and I did things that are going to benefit me now. I don't want to come out here with a Lamborghini and I got to pay $100,000 in insurance every year. I'd rather have a paid for RV or paid for boat. That's what we did. We went boating and RVing the whole summer.
Wow, that was a fun summer.
Sure was in the midst of COVID. That's all I got to say.
Yes, that was a fun summer. If you could do a versus battle, who would you go up against?
Chris, I've been calling him. I go, all right, I'm going to call it again. Let's go.
Say,
Because it's like all of these years, I just want to prove that I've always been lyrically superior. See,
mhm,
when we've got crowds, this is the perfect time for me and Chris to do a battle. Why? Because He gets off on the crowd fanfare, to say hoes, the yes, yes, y'all, keep the crowd hype. And you keep them hype, you could say anything. And that's being proven with these little mumble rappers right now. But if you have to sit down and actually listen to lyrical content and see who's saying what, I stomp them all the time. From back then, I ain't got to even make no new records to prove how lyrically superior I was to Chris since day one. Even though the truth of the matter is he stole my style, I let him run with it. So if you want to ask me who would I versus with, there's no shame in my game, no pulling punches. I just told you. Asking you, Chris. I've been begging you, brother. Let's go. And I ain't making a new record. You can play all that other stuff. I'll do what you got to do. You got 24 albums. I got 3. What you scared of? Maybe the 3 that I have will stomp all 25 of yours. Ooh, I don't know. But this is all in fun, though. You know, people look at it and say, oh, but we're old school. This is what we do to each other. We talk crap because this is what the rap game was built on.
Right.
And I only say the things that I say just to come back to this point. That you're not going to see Chris run up on my stoop, or I'm going to run up on his stage set. You might see me run up on his stage set, but it won't be about a fight. It'll be during the time when he's singing South Bronx. And Shan going to come up there and be South Bronx right with him. You know what I'm saying? Right. This has been done before. So it's not, you know, this is not, you know, I'm just, let's do a versus so I can show you I whooped you all the time, every time.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I can dig it. Now, what rapper would you like to mentor from this era if they'd be open to the suggestion?
I don't even know none of them, and I ain't even paying attention. Now, if some of those that are not getting the light that they need because they're saying the right things, I would mess with them. I wouldn't want to mess with anybody that's in the limelight doing nothing right now because they already think they the man. Right. Oh, I'm the man already. You can't tell me nothing. I got a wad of money at my ear. Keep on thinking that wad of money means something. When your next record come out, let's see how long you last. See, these artists nowadays don't have that longevity factor with them.
Right.
They're here today, they're gone tomorrow. You don't hear about them on y'all gonna have to wait to get y'all old school Sirius station. We still get money for ours right now.
Okay. And then this is my last question. Well, I had 2 more. So, where can people follow you? Since
well, they can see me on a daily on MC Shan 1. MC Shan with the number 1 on Instagram. And that's all I use is my Instagram for right now until I switch up to Twitch or something else and, you know, go a little bit deeper than just 1-minute videos on Instagram.
Okay.
I want to get paid like the rest of y'all on podcasts.
Yeah, you know what? You need to start one. MC Shan was stopping you. Like, what they do that at?
It's not the right time. Everything in the due time, because I'm so erratic with things that I'm doing. I'm over here, I'm over there, doing interviews, this, that, and the third, that I really don't like to do anything that I'm scheduled for. If I gotta be somewhere at 8 o'clock every day, right, that ain't me. Yeah. I might want to go on at 12 midnight tomorrow. So it's not in my cards right this second. Unless I tape it and then play it at 9 o'clock. Right. But then I don't get that interactive live interaction with my audience. So I'm gonna have to figure something out in a second, see how this is gonna pop off. But first I'm gonna buy the new house and then get all my rooms set up for the videos, the studios, and all that stuff. And then I'm gonna sit down and that. But until then, I'm just gonna freewheel it.
And make them buses.
Now the bus is finished. Now I'm gonna get on that commission one that's gonna get me a check.
Okay, big money. I can dig it. And then
no. My money very, very small. Very, very small, my money. I just know what to do with my money to make it look very, very, very big, not much larger.
I can't with you, MC Shan.
Life has been very, very good to me.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. You have been a joy. I've been a huge fan all my life. All my life, I had to
And
fight.
thank you for having me. I enjoy the fact that you even wanted to talk to me in 2021. See, I'm one of those gracious artists. I'm very gracious and humble. I'm sitting here in awe, like, yo, it's 2021. Shark, you on your porch doing a Zoom interview. What? Oh, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I mean, look, you got some artists that are out right now ain't doing nothing. They
Right,
ain't talking to nobody because
right.
they're uninteresting.
Interesting, right? But you're such a legend. You are such a pivotal part of hip hop. So it was an honor when I heard your name, and I'm like, oh yeah, definitely sign me up. I want to talk to him. So I
All
did.
right, but imagine if I was one of them artists that answer questions. You know what I'm saying? You know what's up. You know what's up. You know what I'm saying? You're right. Well, it will be like you're never coming on my show again. You know the type that you have to wrench the questions out of. You got to wrench the answer out of them. Like, I opened up the door for you. What's the problem? Smack in the back. Get the words out.
That's what I have to write about it versus airing the actual recording. I have to fluff it up a little bit. You're not a fluffer. You did real good. I'm proud of you.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. I like to do my part because I don't need anyone to have to do any extra work on my behalf. And
Mhm.
so I appreciate you. Everybody out there, it's your man Shizzle with a whistle. One time for your mind, two time for your soul. Ain't nothing standing between you and success but air and opportunity. Your man Shizzle's going in the house to attend to these children. I got beefaroni in the oven for the 2-year-old. Bang, we good. I'm getting ready to go do that daddy thing. And I hope y'all enjoy listening to your boy Shizzle one time for your mind and two time for your soul.
Thank you.